Hey guys, today we're talking about a full day of eating and specifically how I manage to get at least 200 grams of protein every single day in my diet. So if you struggle to eat enough protein every day, like I used to, this is the perfect video for you. So let's start with meal number one, which is a massive dose of protein, and we'll kick this day off. All right, so one thing I just want to get out of the way is I typically don't eat a morning meal. This is why it's really an important video for me to make, because I managed to get at least 200 grams of protein despite not eating breakfast. But when I do break my fast, I usually start with something really simple because I'm knocking out work. I'm really busy most of the day. I don't have a lot of time to actually sit down and make a meal. So I start with a protein shake and a protein bar. Sometimes, honestly, if I'm in a rush, I'll just have the shake, which in this case is 30 grams of protein from Fairlife. I do have a protein powder that I actually personally sell. I use that later in the day if needed, but I'm just quick on the go and these taste amazing. This protein bar is made by Anabar. It's one of about 3 different brands that I rotate through. This just happens to be what I have around the house. 280 calories and another 21 grams of protein. So out of the gate, I'm already at 51 grams of protein. Minimal carbs, minimal fat. Total macros for this one, 11 grams of fat from the bar, 2.5 grams of fat from the shake. So 13.5 grams of fat, 3 grams of carbs, 25 grams of carbs. So 28 grams of carbs. Total calorie count, 430 calories. So 430 calories for the total on my meal number one. Considering today I'm aiming for somewhere between 2,300 and 2,500 calories, I still have over 2,000 calories to play with at the end of the day. So that's meal number one. Let's jump into the kitchen and I'll talk about meal number two. All right, so today we're making a healthy chicken fried rice. What I'm doing right now is I'm just slicing up my chicken with scissors into little pieces. I'm not what you would call a 5-star chef in the kitchen. I could probably learn how to cut this stuff up better, but I like quick and easy. So this meal usually happens close to dinner time or in mid-afternoon. So my shake and my bar, I'll usually eat around between 12 and 2 o'clock. I'll get my kids from school around 3:30. And since I have a little bit of downtime before I take them to sports, I'll usually make this meal as kind of my one of 2 larger meals that I have for the day. My largest meal is always dinner, but this is like my second largest meal. I like to have something filling around this time because usually we have stuff going on as a family at night. So what I'm doing here is I'm just dicing up chicken. This is 10 ounces of chicken. So roughly 65 grams of protein just from the chicken alone. So if you're doing the math, that's already 115 grams of protein, actually probably a little bit more than that for the day. We're also gonna add some eggs and some egg substitute to this meal. I'll show you how that works in a second. So this meal, before it's all said and done, probably be around 80 grams of protein, which may sound like a lot. It's because it is. So all I'm gonna do is heat up a skillet here with just a dash of olive oil. I do a little bit of healthy fat from olive oil, not a lot, like literally a teaspoon. I also use a little bit of Pam just to coat the pan, but I like the olive oil taste. Then I'm just gonna dump the chicken in and start letting it cook. Spread it out. And then I'm gonna start seasoning with garlic powder. So right there, just tons of garlic powder. Can't forget the basics, the staples, salt and pepper, just a little bit of salt. Not a lot because we're actually gonna add a little bit of soy sauce to this. Pepper, just a little bit of soy sauce to give it that little Asian kick here. I'm a big fan of fried rice. This is the healthier version. So we're gonna let this heat up and then I'll show you what we do next. So one ingredient I forgot to add is just a little bit of sriracha. Shout out to an account on Instagram called Stealth Health. I use his recipes all the time to get inspiration. I don't follow it necessarily to a T because oftentimes he includes things like this one, he includes mushrooms. I'm not a mushroom guy. So I don't follow it exactly, but I get inspiration. So if you want to check out a good Instagram account, check out Stealth Health and mine, of course, too. Josiah Fitness. All right, so this is cooking up. We're gonna let it get almost fully done and then we'll add some additional ingredients. So a couple other ingredients that will help you save time. I know personally, I don't want to have to do everything from scratch. So this is frozen stir fry veggies. I keep a big bag of this on hand when I'm eating this meal consistently, which is, you know, most weeks. Sometimes I'll mix it up. But the other thing is this instant rice. I don't cook rice. I know you can put a ton of rice in a rice maker and you'll have a ton, but I just like these packets because once again, I can control the calories and I can control how much I'm eating a lot easier that way. A little bit of fail proof here. So while the chicken is cooking, I mixed up a couple things. So I did about a serving of egg whites. So this has 5 grams of protein, you can see here. And then I did 1 egg. 1 egg, just so you know I'm not fooling you here, has another 6 grams of protein. So there's 12 grams of additional protein on top of the 60 plus that we're getting from the chicken. So that's about 72, 73 grams of protein already in this meal. You do get a little bit of protein from the rice. So in this case, we'll probably get another 6 to 7 grams of protein from rice. So as I said, this is gonna be almost 80 grams of protein. Beautiful, easy, easy, easy. All right, so trying to keep it super simple here. And like I said, we got some really cool hacks at the end if you wanna wait till the end of the video. Got some advanced stuff that will help you round out your protein for the day. But just step number 2 is we got the chicken done. And now we're just getting the veggies. I just keep the pan on, keep it hot, throw the frozen veggies on. A few minutes later, these are thawed out and ready to go. Once these are thawed, I'm gonna push them to the side. I'm gonna add in my egg mixture that we already have. And then in the meantime, I'm gonna throw some rice in the microwave for 90 seconds, get this thing ready to go. We'll add the rice once the eggs are cooked, then we'll add the chicken, and we'll be ready to eat. So let's finish this up. So I'm not a massive veggies person. I do eat my veggies, don't worry. Let me show you a product that I use actually on days where I don't have a lot of veggies. This is my brand new Super Greens powder by yours truly, ttsups.com. It's raspberry lemonade flavor, no artificial sweeteners, which is great. But for the days where I'm not eating a ton of vegetables, I will throw in a scoop of this at some point in the day just to cover my bases. I know there's a million greens powders out there, guys. If you don't want this one, fine, go find another one. But I'll link it in the description below in case you do. But yeah, go check it out. It's relatively inexpensive. Just a good thing to have on hand if you're not eating a vegetable or need more veggies. Super Greens, ttsups.com. All right, I'm gonna push the veggies over to the side. They are just about perfect. Doesn't take long to thaw out veggies, which is awesome. Gonna dump in, make sure the heat is on a little lower. We're gonna get these eggs going. Oh yeah. So I just cook them next to each other because they're all gonna blend together anyway. Doesn't really matter. Just wanna make sure nothing gets too stuck to the bottom of the pan so we don't lose any of the protein, of course. These eggs will cook up nice. Remember, I combined a real egg with some fake egg, basically egg whites. I like the yellow coloring though, call me whatever you want. I just feel like it feels more authentic. The normal chicken fried rice has the yellow eggs, so I want my eggs to be yellow too. We're gonna use this whole pack of rice, by the way, so just so you know, it's actually 9 grams of protein, so we're getting to that 80 grams. 420 calories, told you this is one of my bigger meals of the day, 85 grams of carbs. I usually eat about 250 grams of carbs a day. So if you're doing math at home, you can see based off the protein shake and the bar, plus the rice, we're coming in, let's see, where are we? A little over 110 grams of carbs for the day. So we got plenty left over for later on. All right, eggs are just about ready. So now we're gonna add in the rice, not the rice bag, hopefully. Break this up. We're gonna put this on a really low heat now, just a simmer. Mix in the veggies. This is coming together. Talk about a filling meal, guys. I mean, this is, once again, I say, you know, you want volume in your diet. This is what I'm talking about. We haven't even added in the chicken yet. I mean, imagine now, you may not eat this much rice if your meal plan calls for less carbs, but you're still getting a ton of volume. So we're gonna add the chicken in. And seriously, like you could make this recipe as is, like I just did with all the chicken, all the rice. Last thing we're gonna do is add a little bit of sesame oil and a little bit more sushi soy sauce, okay? Soy sauce, just a little bit, a little dab. Got our stuff. Now we're just gonna give it a good mix. So as I was saying, you could make this whole thing like I just did, same exact numbers and everything, and just split it into meals or share some with a friend or your spouse or whatever. Maybe your kids like this kind of stuff. Either way, you could just prep it for 2 days too, right? So if this is too much for one meal, then you just use the rest tomorrow. Super simple. All right. So that, my friends, is meal number 2. Let me show you what meal number 3 looks like. All right, so this is a snack / post workout meal sometimes. So let me explain what I mean. So oftentimes during the week, I will train in the morning, fasted, and I'll wait until 1 or 2 o'clock to have my shake and bar, okay? Sometimes I'll work out later if my mornings are crazy, all right? Which is, you know, usually like a run in the afternoon. If I'm training for an event, I'll do a walk in the morning, super low key, and I'll do a run later. This is a meal that I'll throw in on days where I run in the afternoon. Now, if I'm not running, you see all this cereal? This goes away, okay? Because it's an extra little bit of calories. And what I'll just have, Greek yogurt. So I have a little flavored Fage, and then just a plain Greek yogurt with some fruit, okay? Just an apple. Now, calories and protein on this, tons. Tons of protein, I should say. 1 serving of the plain Greek yogurt, 17 grams of protein. 1 of these things, just one of them, 13 grams of protein. So 1 serving of each is 30 grams of protein, all right? Apple, no protein, basically just carbs and fiber. But if you're doing the math at home, that puts us already around 140, 150 grams of protein. So all I gotta do the rest of the night is get 50 grams of protein, which is incredibly easy. Now, if I throw in the cereal, guess what? This actually has some protein, not a ton. I only do 1 serving of this, so it's got 3 grams of protein. Honey Nut Cheerios, 140 calories, 170 calories if I'm doing Cinnamon Toast Crunch. 2 grams of protein, 3 grams of protein for the chocolate crave. All about the same calories, same amount of carbs. So you're not getting a ton of protein there. But I'll mix it with almond milk. Once again, not a lot of protein. But these numbers start to add up, guys. So check this out. If you're freaking out and you're like, I don't want to eat just chicken. Well, I just gave you a whole meal that's got no meat in it whatsoever. And if you ate this whole meal, you'd still get about 35, 34 grams of protein, which is nothing to shake your head at. Like that's a really good amount of protein. So that's what I'll have is like my meal 3. Once again, cereal if I'm running. If not running, I'll just have this. And then let me show you what dinner looks like. I'll give you 2 options for dinner and then we'll finish out the day. So I need 50 grams of protein, right? All right, hey guys, if this video gets 100 likes, because my YouTube channel is starting to grow, maybe you're watching this in the future and we're already there, but if this one gets 100 likes, I will do an ice cold plunge. I will literally do an ice cold plunge in one of my next few videos where I go into 32, 36 degree water with ice, no shirt, just jump in, full send style and freeze my butt off for at least 2 minutes. All right, I'll stay in for 2 minutes. So get 100 likes, like this video, and I promise you, I will do that in a video very soon. Just so I don't bore you to tears, and I want to give you advanced hacks as promised for hitting that last 40 to 50 plus grams of protein you need to hit. So I got 1 of 2 things that I'll make at night. Either I'm going to do beef, okay? So just so you know, 8 ounces of beef is about 50 grams of protein. So I would just do 8 ounces of this, 16 grams of fat, no carbs, 50 grams of protein. Super easy if I wanted to finish things off. But an advanced hack that you can throw in, fat-free cheese. Now, I know I will never say fat-free cheese tastes the same as regular cheese. I'm not crazy. You won't need to call the police and report me to Homeland Security. Fat-free cheese tastes nothing like regular cheese. But, cool part, no fat. 9 grams of protein per serving. So, why is this important? Well, I can mix it in my beef, okay? That gets me well over the 200 grams. If I'm not doing beef, I'll do egg whites. I'll do breakfast for dinner. I'm a breakfast for dinner type of guy. I've always been that way. Call me weird, comment below if you're a breakfast or dinner type of person, because we can definitely be friends. But check this out. So it's not gonna be as easy to get 40 grams of protein from egg whites. It's a lot of egg whites. So it's 5 grams of protein per serving. What I'll do is let's see, 6 servings, okay? Which ends up being about a little over a cup of egg whites, but it's got me 30 grams of protein. Then I'll throw in 2 servings of fat-free cheese, which isn't a lot, to be honest. It doesn't taste like a lot. So that will get me over 40 there. Then the potatoes themselves have a couple grams of protein. I'll throw some shredded hash browns in a pan, about a serving here. So it's about 15 to 20 grams of carbs, just enough to give me that hash brown vibe that I love at IHOP, by the way, but don't want to do it at IHOP because it's covered in fat and oils. Then I'll throw in a couple slices, thin slices of Dave's Killer bread. Gives me another 4 or 5 grams of protein. So all of a sudden, I'm once again at 50 grams of protein, well over my 200 gram goal for the day. Super, super easy. This is actually the beef that I cooked last night. You can see I made meatballs. So sometimes I'll do meatballs to mix it up. That's a hack as well. If you're kind of sick of the same old, cook the meat same, but just mix up how it's prepared. So meatballs one day, hamburger patties, just ground it up sometimes, mix it together with rice or potatoes. At the end of the day, guys, oftentimes eating healthy is amazing, but gets repetitive, right? So you gotta make something that tastes good, even if it's just something like this, meatballs. You can even do, instead of potatoes, you could do healthier pasta. You could do protein pasta. The options are really endless as long as you're tracking your calories. Hey, so if you have calories at the end of the night, let me show you some of my guilty pleasures. Nix, yes, ice cream. Check this out, 330 calories for the whole thing. It's got a little high fat, I'm not gonna lie, 22 grams of fat, but if you account for it, you can totally eat it. Carbs, 72 grams, it's a lot, but there's a lot of fiber, 25 grams of fiber. You can eat half this thing if you wanted. You can even mix this with a little yogurt, and all of a sudden you have a high protein dessert. What else do I do? So I could do another yogurt as well. That's another way to finish off the night. Slice up a banana, put it in the yogurt, good dessert. Or I could just head back and grab another protein bar. This is for those nights where you're just like, oh crap, I got 250 grams or 250 calories left, 10, 15 grams of protein left. Simple little stuff, guys. Don't make it more complicated than it has to be. This is how I hit over 200 grams of protein and my calories every single day eating meals that I love. Speaking of meals that I love, I have a free, and I mean free, recipe guide called My Barely Legal Crack Recipes. Stuff like the stuff I just made today, except a ton of them. So you can pick and choose if you don't like the ones I showed you today. I'll link it below. Go download it, start using it, start experimenting. Last tip I'll give you is pick only a couple to add to your day. Stick with them for a while so you get really good at making them. You can do it without even measuring anything. You just eyeball it, boom, done, good to go. Get good at a couple, then add a couple more. Before you know it, you'll have 6 to 10 recipes that you can make on demand at all times and still hit your calories and protein. My name's Josiah Novak. If you need a full-blown plan, we work with high performers over the age of 35, typically with kids who need to lose 20 to 30 pounds in the next 90 days. If that's you, check out our 3M fat loss system. I'll link that below. We can schedule a chat and we can figure out if we're a good fit. Otherwise, subscribe to the channel, like. Don't forget to like the video because I will do the cold plunge. I'll talk to you in the next one. Life moves fast. Make it count. Peace.